Hi everyone, good day. My name is DALUZ Garabel, and now I will be tackled about the basic strategies for developing literacy, which is the making connection. So before we proceed our discussion, let us stand up and let us pray. In the name of the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. So good afternoon, class. So I want you to all to pick up the piece of the paper and sit properly. So now, first I will be checking your attendance. That's good. Seems like you are all present. So before we proceed to our proper discussion, let's have a first short review to return your knowledge on your previous lesson. Who wants to volunteer? Yes, that's good. That's great, very good. Can anyone tell me about philosophical basis for teaching and new literacy across the curriculum? Yes, that's good. Um, yes, I agree that teaching new literacy across the curriculum requires a strong philosophical foundation. So excellent. Where the several educational philosophies inform effective approaches? Yes, yes, that's correct. It's the progressism and reconstruction and pragmatism. That's correct. Very good. It only means that you were able to understand our previous topic. Are you ready to our new topic this afternoon? Yes. So this time, let's have a game. We will be divided into 4 groups. This activity, it's called Draw and Duck, and it's as simple as it sounds. And group that who finish first will be receive additional 2 points for our quiz later. Are you ready, class? So duck and draw, or draw and duck. Step one, you need to give to each group some post-it and pentel pen. Step two, set the timer to 1 minute and let people draw a duck. And then get everyone to place their ducks. And then step four, prayerfully review your duck's introduction and their name is, and tell something interesting about your duck. This exercise fulfills like the exact same purpose of collaboration and communication to your classmate and to yourself also. This is fun, so let's start class. So we need to participate in the activity so that we can proceed to our discussion. So that's good. Seems like everyone are participating to our activity. So now, before we formally start to our discussion again, I wanted to group you to yourself into two. What you're going to do is to identify the picture that will show you that the group will be consumed leisure time will be the winner. Are you ready, class? That's good to hear that. So the first one, second, and the third, and the fourth. Now you have an idea regarding with our new lesson this afternoon. So this time we will proceed to our new lesson, the basic strategies for developing literacy, making connection. What comes to your mind about making connection? Yes, I like you. You said that it's involved relating the text to your own experiences. That's correct. So making connection with literacy text does not come automatically for student like other literacy strategies. Making connection should be taught explicitly through teacher modeling, repetition, and practice. So class, there are typically three types of connection. Student will be asked to make when reading a text. So this will be include the text to self, and then text to text, and also the text to world. So the first one is text to self. Text to self refers to the making a connection between one's alive, and the next one is reading. Teacher may ask student questions just as, have you ever felt like the character in the book? Or maybe, does this story remind you of something that has some meeting happened to you? That is the example of the text to self. So text to self connection involve relating a text content to your own personal experience, thought, or feelings. So for example, in literature, if you read a novel about the characters struggling with anxiety and have also experienced anxiety, you might have a text to self connection by reflecting on how the characters' feelings mirror your own, nothing similar or differences with how you cope your anxiety. And that is my example about the text to text to self. And the second one is text to text. So text to text connection required liking text from one book to a text in a different one. Instruction can use compare and contrast strategies for the type. Questions just as like, how is this book similar to the one I read last week? Or maybe, does this book make you think about what you read in history class? Maybe, isn't it? Be the ask question of the text to text. So, and the third one is text to the world. Text to the world, or so text to the world connection required liking a text to a real world event. Question that prompt text to world connection include, does this remind you about something that is currently happening in the world? Or maybe, how is this text similar or different from a world event? Teacher may implement making connection strategies through visual aids like poster, like think aloud strategies which require students to voice their thought and loud, and also journaling. And then let's move on to using exciting knowledge. So exciting or a background knowledge, also called Sigma theory. I know that you know that because last meeting, Ma'am Jo have discussed about the theory, Sigma theory. So it is closely related to making connection. Good readers look for meaning and interpret the text as they read. Using exciting knowledge about the subject helps them to predict what might come next. So, exciting knowledge of the topic can be discussed before reading to help set stage for what is coming. While reading, um, learners should be encouraged to make connection to to their knowledge, and their teacher can model this as well. After reading, discuss with the learner how making those connection help them to better understand the text. Are you understand, class? Very good. We need to listen and understand what I have discussed because later I have a question. So you need to be patient. So class, in your understanding, what is integrating your information? Your own idea. Yeah, sige, yes. So first one is integrating new information, and this is the strategy step for making connection. The first one is integrating new information. When you come to new information, think about what you already know that is related or similar to the new information. Think about what you are learning. What is the same? What is different? Or you can prompt your child to integrate new information by asking the following. What do you think about this? Or how it is similar to what you already know about. What is the different from what you already know about? Can you picture that in your mind? That is the question about the integrating new information by ask something that you can by ask something because you are thinking, learning, and then the second one is know and wonder. Strategy step. Before reading, write down or tell someone. So know and wonder what you already know about the topic or subject, what you think you know about the topic and subject, what you wonder. Read the text. So read the text with the what you know, think you know, and wonder in mind. Using what you said or write to help you pay close attention to new information and reverse misconception you may have. Misconception you may have. You can prompt your child or student to consider what they know and wonder about the topic by asking. So the following question is what is something you are sure you know about? Like what is something you think about? What do you want to learn more about? What you are wondering about? What are you learning now that you read this part? That are the random question that can you think or no wonder before you reading and write down or tell someone. And the third one especially is the making book to book connection. What is making book to book connection in the strategy step on making connection? Yes, think about another books that remind you of the book or are reading you are reading. Consider what you'll learn from those books. Think about if there are any lesson or information from other books you've read that relate to this book. So, for example, mga fairy tales, there are lesson learned after the movie or the series. You can profit a child or student or your sister or anyone that your friend make a book connection by asking the following question. For example, what are some other books you've read that are similar to this one? What other books does this remind you of? What and why? Can you connect this book to another book you've read? For me, there are a lot of similar story or books because the history of the other world are cycling. So think about other books that remind you of a book. What are you reading? Like Wattpad. I see it in the movie, so that is have a connection. I have an example of that, which is the Wattpad that I'm reading and the movie that I'm watching. But that movie related to the book that I read. That for example is Mutya ng Section E. That has the have a author and that's first have a book and then it relates me myself in the reality. So the fourth one is book and series strategy step. Think about the two books in our series. Example, Magic Tree House, Old Diaries, Rainbow Magic, and then also Flat Stanley, A to Z, Mysterious. It help you can place the two books side on side. And then ask yourself some question. What different in the lesson that characters learn in this book? Or what did the characters seem to learn in this book? What about this book? Or you can profit your child to compare books in a series by asking the following question. Or what lesson did the characters learn in this book? And then also what this book mostly about? Or what are these books similar? What are those books different? That also the random question about the books in series. So the last one but not the least is connection to the world. This connection to the world are also belong to strategy step. So connection to the world as you are reading, notice real world issues that come up. Think about you already know about this issue. Ask yourself, what does the author want me to consider about this issue? Consider why this is important. For example, sa connection to the world, it is notice the real world issues. Like for example, you're reading in the newspaper, and then also you are accidentally see it in the social media or TV television. That is the connection to the real world. They have an issue that you're reading and then watching, and then you are encountering in this world. So you can prompt your child to make connection to the real world by asking the following question: or what is going on to the world? That or what is the what is the saying in the newspaper in the real world, so you can know the issue about the outside world. So that's all about the discussion. So since we're done with our discussion, we will have another activity. We'll divide you into three groups, and for each group we will be the one to choose member to perform the three types of connection. The selected performer will act that kind of types of connection it is while they are acting. The rest of the group needs to carefully observe and try to figure out what types of connection is being performed. Once the acting is over, your group will have a 10 seconds to discuss and agree on your answer. After that, each group will share this guess with the class, and then also points will be awarded for correct answer. Is that clear, class? Very good. Before the session ends, the teacher asked the following question by repeating it twice. So I will be read the question twice, so read properly. So the first one is you need to write if it is text to text or text to self or text to the world or make a connection. You need to know about the three types of connection. The first one is connection requiring liking text from one book to a text in a different one. Again, connection requiring liking text from one book to a text in a different one. And then refers to making a connection between one's life and the text one in reading. Connection require liking a text to real world event, and that's the three. Number three. Again, number 3, connection required linking a text to the real world event. And then number 4, literal text does not come automatically for student before reading. And number 4, literal text does not come automatically for student. And then the last one is, before reading, write down your tell someone. For the instruction, part 2, instruction, choose the correct answer from the option provided, A, B, C, D, or D. I will read carefully, and then I will repeating it twice only. So number 1, what does making connection in reading primarily help with? A, memorizing the text. B, improving spelling. C, understanding and relating to the text. D, reading faster. Again, what does making connection in reading primarily help with? Primary help with. A, memorizing the text. B, improving spelling. C, understanding and relating to the text. D, reading faster. Number 2, which of the following is the text to self connection? A, this story reminds me of other books I read. B, this story is similar to something that happened in my life. This story takes place during World War II. And D, this story was written by a famous author. Again, which of the following is a text to self connection? A, this story reminds me of another books I read. B, this story is similar to something happened in my life. C, this story takes place during World War II. D, this story was written by a famous author. Number 3, a text-to-text connection is when you A, relate the story to your own feelings, compare the story to an event in history. Letter C, connect the story to other story or book. And letter D, think about how the story might end. Again, number 3, a text-to-text connection is when you A, relate the story to your own feelings. B, compare the story to an event in history. C, connect the story to another story or book. And D, think about how the story might end. Number 4, which is an example of text-to-text world connection. This character reminds me of my best friend. B, this setting is like the one in my favorite video game. C, this story is about climate. Or D, this book is from my school library. Again, which is example of text to world connection. A, this character reminds me of my best friend. B, this setting is like the one in my favorite video game. C, this story is about climate. And letter D, this book is from my school library. And number 5, last, why is making connection important when reading? A, it helps you skip part of the text. B, it makes reading more meaningful and memorable. C, it allows you to guess words. And letter D, it helps you find errors in the book. Again, number 5, why is making connection important when reading? Why is making connection important when reading? A, it helps you skip part of the text. B, it makes reading more meaningful and memorable. C, it allows you to guess words. D, it helps you find errors in the book. Okay, you may now pass your paper. For the assignment title is making connection when reading. For the objective, to help students deepen their understanding of a text by making text to self, and then text to text and text to the world connection. Instruction for the assignment. Choose a short story, article, or chapter from a book you are currently reading, or a one provided by your teacher. So you have to choose a short story or article or a book you currently reading. So number 2, after reading, answer the following. Text to self connection. Write about how something in the text remind you of the personal experience, feeling, or memory. Example for the text to self connection is, this part of the story reminds me of when I blank. And then that is my example of my text to text connection. So letter B, text to text connection. Write about how his story is similar to another story, book, or movie you read or watch. Example, this character is like blank and the story blank because blank, and blah, blah, blah. That is, and etc. So letter C, text to word connection. Write about how the story connection to real world event, news, or issues around the world that you are encounter. So, for example, this event is similar to something happening in the world today, just as blank, etc. And then number 4, format. Number 3, write your answer in the complete sentences. At least 2 to 3 sentences per connection. And that's all, class. And that's all, class. Is there any question of, is there connection? And that's all, class. Is there any question or clarification about our topic this afternoon? That's good, class. Okay, that's good, class. Okay, I hope you learn about our topic today. Goodbye, class. Is there any question or clarification about our topic this afternoon, class? Okay, I hope you learned something from our discussion today. God bless and goodbye, class.